Warning: some viewers may find the following content to be disturbing. Viewers' discretion is advised. Most people don't see this, but Bethesda put a strange feature in The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Well, it's not really a feature, it's just a thing that can happen. You see, when you use the wait feature, you can see the world move around you really quick. The wait feature works on an hour-by-hour basis. That is, you can choose to wait a certain number of hours of in-game time. This is different from sleeping because it doesn't heal your wounds. It doesn't put you in a bed during those hours. You just stand there. Most people use this for little things, like for example, if you wanted to get out of a dungeon or a building, and it's nighttime, so it's hard to see you, you might want to change until morning. The thing about the wait feature that differs from previous Elder Scrolls games such as Oblivion is that in between the hours passing, you can still see the world around you, albeit with an extremely modified frame rate. Mostly nothing of interest happens. You see the shadows of trees moving throughout the day, but nothing of real note. One night, I came across something strange happening in between those hours. I had previously assumed that people and living things didn't even render during wait time, but it would appear I was wrong. It was about 11 PM, and I was drowsy. I was waiting from 3 AM in-game to 8 AM in-game, just waiting for the merchants in Whiterun to open. That's when I noticed something strange pass by me. I saw some kind of shadowy figure dip out of the ground, so its head was showing, then fall back in, all within about half a second. I was shocked at first, and I almost jumped out of my seat. I tried to remember, and decided that the feature must have just been a model of a dragon performing a flying animation, a tad bit slower than it should have been, and missing its texture, appearing as just a black model. I went on the Bethesda forums to ask about the dragon, but in writing my post, I misspelled dragon as Dagon, and we all affectionately dubbed the monster as Dagon the Dark. Even with about 3 people willing to help me speculate, we were completely clueless. A person under the alias of Cylinder Dude pointed out to me that if Dagon was simply missing his texture files, he wouldn't appear as all black. He wouldn't appear at all. He'd be invisible. That's something. He told me he'll dig around in the game files for all the black dragon textures. I went back to my game and found something horrible had just happened. There were no more dragons in Skyrim. I searched far and wide for some sort of dragon to fight, but for the life of me I could not find one. Over 6 in-game hours of just wandering around, I didn't encounter a single dragon. I even tried summoning Udaving to fight with me, but nothing came. I did the shout successfully, but no dragon appeared. I figured that something was wrong with my save file, but no, dragons were now completely gone. I tried to start a new save game, but that's when it got creepy. Instead of appearing in the opening prison sequence and getting the Unbound quest, the game started off in Whiterun at Dragon's Reach. I searched the whole place, but the Jarl was missing. All that happened was I appeared in the hall. I heard the Jarl's voice say, "You have to slay the beast." I remember him questioning whether I had actually heard the audio in game or not. If you stick around in a hall for a while, you can hear him say, "Please." Then the music would stop until you leave. I assumed that this beast, He meant that dragon you met in the Dragon Rising quest. I went outside and found Irilith and the rest of the guards waiting for me. I tried speaking to her, but all she would say was, "Please slay the beast." So I went down to the tower where you fought the dragon, only to find no such dragon. The tower was wrecked, but nothing was on fire like it usually was. I got close and suddenly, I was pulled into a conversation with one of the guards cowering in the tower. He said with dialogue I had never heard in the game before, "Please, you have to kill it. It's only you. You can save us from it. You have to kill it. Please." I'm pretty sure that wasn't the voice that the god usually speaks in as well. I got a dialogue choice that said yes or no. I selected yes, eager to fight the dragon and whatever else clearly fucked up my game. It was then that the god looked down at me and scared me. He said something and it was a bit louder than usual. My speakers must have messed up the stereo placement, because it sounded like it was coming from behind me. He said, "Don't just stand there," in a surprisingly convincing despair. Then it happened. Bam! Dagon the dragon dove right the fuck out of that tower, this time without wings. A dragon without wings? Swallowed up the guard and dragged his body into the ground. I jumped because it made this otherworldly, echoey grunt that made my speakers buzz and my desk vibrate. From then, it became chaos. All the guards in Irilith started scrambling, running faster than they should have been able to, unarmed and hopeless. One by one, Dagon, a wingless ground dragon, came up and swallowed all of them, one by one, until there was just me left. And then Dagon came out from the ground and swallowed me. My character got sucked down into the ground, and everything was white. I looked down, and the worst part happened. I saw Dagon's face. My character model was inside of his model, which was white from the inside. And at the bottom were two piercing small black eyes and a big black mouth, like a dog's. It stared at me. I couldn't look away, which I initially registered to the game's fault, but I soon realised was a deeper problem. I actually couldn't move from the mouse. I was paralysed at my desk looking at this terrible face, from what seemed like an absolute eternity. I then woke up at my bed, standing. It was insane. I just skipped through time to the next morning, completely blanking out on everything that happened that night. I'm really scared at this point, and I go to my computer to consult Cylinder Dude about it. I find that he sent me about 5 messages over the night. I inform him about the events that had just happened the night prior. Then he tells me he can't find the face texture or the wingless dragon model anywhere in the game's directory. He asks me to send a copy of my game directory over so he can patch his game with my buggy files and check it out. I send in the files, and over the next couple weeks, we both experiment with the game. First, he played my save file again. He played it a few times, and it turned out that the game had rules. You need to kill Dagon. How exactly you do that is not certain, but Cylinder Dude, who has identified his name as Sam, thinks you have to get an in-game item to kill him. Rule 2. You cannot let Dagon kill you. Now this seems impossible at first, but me and Sam gradually found out that the thing triggers Dagon attacking you is Irilith getting eaten. There is in fact a way to save Irilith, and by extension yourself. Dagon makes a screeching sound about half a second before he attacks Irilith. If you successfully hear that and start a conversation with her in time, you'll save her from getting eaten. Rule number 3. The fast travel and waiting were disabled. The initial plan was to get this, simply run all over every inch of Skyrim's world, all while talking to Irilith every 5 seconds. We'd use the console to make her follow us, and just kept wandering and searching everywhere for this random item that kills Dagon. Somehow, it was a crazy and painstaking plan, but no one could obsess over these things like internet losers. Sam, understanding my concerns with the game after my Blackout episode, offered to try it out for me. I sent him a thank you email and he said he was going to work. That was it. And that was the last time I'd ever heard from Cylinder Dude. He was gone. No emails, nothing. I even scanned the forums for his post and he just dropped off the map. Non-existent. I got scared. So scared, I didn't even turn off my computer for a while. I scanned the news for mentions of search parties or something, and eventually succeeded in pushing it to the east back of my mind. I tried to forget about Sam and his fate. Of course, it didn't work. As soon as I went to sleep, I hovered over my bed and thought about Sam and what happened to him. It ate me up, well, like a wingless dragon. Over the course of a week, I gained the drive to try the game again, and decided that the computer game couldn't hurt me. It was nothing more than a few billion lines of code. I started up to the opening screen. Apples. I swear to Christ they were chanting, apples. The home screen music had switched to just a chant of apples. I disregarded my insanity and plunged further into my game. There are approximately over 4,000 apples in Skyrim, across barrels and other things. One of them is poison. One of them can kill Dagon. One of them can slay the beast. I managed to save Irilith for the first few times. I walked backwards, always keeping the crosshairs on her, just in case if I needed to save her. Checking the map every so often to make sure I'm walking in the correct direction. I made it from Whiterun to a fort just outside it before I fucked up and let her die. Which means I had to stare into Dagon's piercing eyes again. Which means I blacked out again. I arose standing in front of my bed, angry, violated, filled with a kind of strange curiosity that created the first paedophiles. Still determined, so this is what I did every single night. Every night making it a little bit further, but blacking out a little longer. This went on for about 2 weeks. Then I found out what I made. Sam is dead. I saw the news that his body had been found naked in the woods. His teeth had been ripped out and replaced with a dog's teeth. This was the morning I woke up in front of my closet. Not a real bed, in front of my closet. I opened it. I swear to Jesus H. Christ that for a mere millisecond, maybe shorter, I spotted Dagon's face in my closet. Did I jump? Of course I jumped. The face went away and at least 40 apples, all with a bite out of them. Some rotting, some fresh, fell out of my closet, right onto my feet. Apples. 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 Don't just stand there. Sam was right behind me. It had to be him. I felt that it was him. I felt what I owed him. He was behind me one instant and gone the next. I fell into the apples. They ate me. He died. He died because of me. He said, please, I just stood and did nothing. There are only 2,000 apples in Skyrim. Don't just stand there. You can save us. You can slay the beast. Please. Apples. And that, my docs, was Dagon the Dark, a Skyrim creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story? I'm very happy to see a Skyrim creepypasta at last. I am a huge fan of Skyrim, and I'm glad to see that it finally made it to creepypastas. Oh, and this one was old, by the way, 2013. Over 7 years old now. But yeah, overall though, I don't really know how to feel. It was creepy, not gonna lie. But it did kinda lose me a little bit with the whole apples chant. But it is old. I don't really know how to feel. Kinda speechless, but I didn't hate it, it didn't make me want to throw my keyboard, so I guess that's a plus. Unique, obviously, this is literally the only Skyrim creepypasta I've ever seen. But yeah, overall though, if I had to give this story a final rating, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It gets a plus because it didn't make me want to throw my keyboard out of my window. But overall though, it's a decent-ish story. I've seen better. I'm just happy that Skyrim finally made it into a creepypasta. Anyways, this has been The Dark Author. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see some more, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And I'll see you all later. Good night, everybody.